I'm Amy.
I'm Laura.
And we are TwoPaperGirls.
We are back from our semi-hiatus that happened in May because of finishing university, and that was a bit crazy, and that's finally over. So this is our first time that we've filmed in about a month, so we're a little bit like, oh, how strange, because normally it's a lot more regular than that. But today we're going to do our May wrap-up. I was super ambitious with my TBR. Didn't happen. Amy wasn't that ambitious and she did great. So we're going to show you all the books that we got round to.
The first book that I read in May was one I was the most excited for, the controversial but the amazing A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas. I absolutely adored this book. It literally broke my heart to see how this offended some people, but literally the book itself, in my opinion, because I wasn't offended by any of these things because I am lucky enough not to be affected by any of these topics, the story in itself, I was like, I thought someone was gonna die, and then, oh my gosh, I can't tell you anything about it without spoiling anything, but literally that this book, it had a dip in the middle, I have to say. I got a bit bored. There's a lot of war plans. For about 200 pages it just talks about strategy, but oh my god, these characters, I adore them. I loved how we got to see a lot more of the other High Lords. I just loved it so much. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I think I might have given it 4 because A Court of Mist and Fury is literally my favourite, and this isn't as good, but it was a satisfying end to the trilogy, and I just can't wait to see what the other books are about.
And the only book that I read off of my actual TBR that I was so excited for last month is Clockwork Princess, the last book in the Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. But I'm really chuffed that I read this because I've been meaning to read all the Cassandra Clare for so long, and I'm finally getting through them quickly, and I really love this. I was excited for it, but I was kind of there was a lot of hype around it, and I was like, oh, it's not going to live up to the hype, and I feel like the hype was to do with the ships that I don't like, and I guess it kind of was, but this book was amazing. I ship everyone. I even shipped, what's her name? Tessa. I even shipped Tessa and Will by the end, which I did not expect because I've never liked her in general, but their ship at all. But I shipped everyone, Charlotte and Henry, Isabel and Gabriel. Yeah, I get the 2 Blightwood brothers confused in this. They just both look like Joffrey in my head. I don't know why. But this book was great. I was about to say so much happened. It didn't really, but the ending was crazy. It was so satisfying. It tied up every single little thing you could want it to tie up. Sorry, a car just went past. I don't know if that affected the sound. But it tied up every single thing you could want it to. It was so satisfying. It made me cry, which I haven't cried at a book for a long time. I loved it, and it was 5 stars.
The next book I read was The Last Beginning by Lauren James, which is the sequel to The Next Together. I was really looking forward to reading this. I just kept putting it off for some crazy reason. And I think that if I'd have read it sooner, I would have liked it a lot more because this book was written really well. I loved the pacing of it. My only problem with it was that I think I would enjoy it more if I was younger. I'm 21, and I think because Clove is the main character and she's 16 and she's going through problems that I've never had to go through, I found it hard to relate as well because she's a lot younger. But around halfway through it goes very Back to the Future, and I felt like it picked up a lot for me then, and I really enjoyed the second half more than the first half. But I gave it 3 stars. That's a really good 3 stars. It's almost 4, and I would definitely recommend this if you're looking for something a bit different.
The next thing I read in May was actually the only other thing I read in May because I just hit a massive slump with coursework and stuff. I was just so not in the mood to read. Clockwork Princess was pretty big, and I went to see my boyfriend Robin and went with him. I don't really read much. Just lots of things happened, so I said to Amy, I'm going to pick a book and I'm going to try and read it in one day. That didn't quite happen, but I was at home, so I picked Wonder by RJ Palacio because I saw that the movie trailer was out, and I was like, I really want to read it before I see the film because I know I won't read it otherwise, and I've had it years, and I'm really glad I did. It was absolutely amazing book. It's about cute little Augie or August, and he has a facial deformity or abnormality. He doesn't like the word deformity, but that's kind of the more clinical way of describing it, and it's just about how he goes to school for the first time. He joins the 5th grade, he's 10, but interestingly this book had different perspectives which I wasn't expecting, but they worked really, really well because you got so many different people's point of view about what he was going through and how it affected them. You saw his sister, and obviously her being his sister, he gets a lot of attention, so it's about how she deals with that, and then it switches to her boyfriend's perspective when he first meets him, and it's just really, really good. It's just so well written. It made me cry 3 times. I loved it. It's 5 stars, and I need to watch the film trailer now actually, because I finally can, and I'm so glad I actually read this because it was really, really good.
The next book I read in May I was really excited for because it was my first Schwab book, and this was this Savage Song. Laura said I would enjoy this one the most because it's like creepy, and indeed it was. It was about August, who is a monster. And there are 3 monsters living in the town, and then he finds Kate, who is like his enemy basically. But then like they all get caught up together, and it's like them trying to survive in this monstery world. It's like supernatural, but also like it feels kind of like it could be true. Is that crazy?
No,
it is a little bit crazy. Yeah, it looks just, it's kind of... I really, really enjoyed it. This is perhaps more one of V. Schwab's YA books, so that's why I thought I'd give this one a shot, because I am still loving my YA at the minute, and I really enjoyed it. I gave this book 5 stars. I skipped through it really quickly, and the sequel, Our Dark Duet, is out in a couple of weeks. This next one's going to be quick because you know that I love it and I talk about it all the time, and that is All My Friends Are Superheroes by Andrew Kaufman, because this is what Laura asked me to read in the month before May.
April.
Yeah, that one. And I didn't get round to it because I thought this is going to be my relaxation book when I finish my coursework, and indeed it was. I finished my coursework, read this, felt amazing. Everything was great. Obviously it gets 5 stars as usual. Another controversial read of May was The Fate of 10 by Pittacus, which I think is the penultimate book in the series about the Lorien legacies, you know, with John, I'm number 4, him. Basically, I love this series because I've got to know the characters, because each of the one has been about a different perspective of like the different numbers. So the first one's about 4, the second one's about 6, the third one's about 9, which was my favourite. And this one is just, everything's going mental. And it was really fast paced, a lot happened. The ending made me sob because I'm like, how can you do that in the penultimate book, which means the last one's just going to be completely mopey. But I'm just going to love it, finish this series because I've been reading it for years. It gets 3 stars. The next one I'm really, really excited about because it's not a book that I thought I was going to pick up so soon, and to be honest I can't remember how I have this. I must have bought it because it's mine, but I don't remember buying it. But anyway, that's by the by. This is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I'm sure you've read it, I'm sure you've heard of it at least. I absolutely loved it. It was so hard to read because this is just something that I've never been affected by at all. It's just about Star, who lives in America in a ghetto, but she doesn't like calling it that. She lives in the bad side of town basically, but she goes to school at Williamson High, which is where all the white kids go basically, on the posh side of town, and her uncle lives in like a gated community, but her mum and dad, oh my gosh, this is the best mum and dad in fiction ever. You're going to love it. They are heartbreakingly good. I've just been seeing Angie Thomas talking about how she makes Maverick the dad her sim on Sims. And Angie Thomas is just absolutely beautiful. I loved this book so much. It made me cry in several places. It was just so hard hitting. It's just horrible to think like this is actually like completely like true, basically. And just the way it like deals with everything as well. It just made me so much more conscious of the way I deal with this sort of thing. And it was just so well written. No, I just loved it. It was just thrilling, and everyone was like, it was hilarious as well, by the way. It was laugh out loud funny in like so many different places. But I would definitely recommend this. Don't be scared of the hype because it's like truly amazing, and it definitely gets 5 stars.
Those are the books we got round to in May. For me, it wasn't the most successful month, but I'm like so happy for Amy, and now I cannot wait to read The Hate You Give. I'm so pumped for it. Let us know down below what you read in May, and we will see you on the next video. Bye!